You're listening to the Millionaires Day Off, where people come to unlock their full potential and start achieving their goals. Now, here's your host, Tyler Kaysen.
On everybody, it's Tyler here again with the Millionaires Day Off. Today we sit down with John Johnson. John is a car dealer, business owner. He owns multiple car lots in the Amarillo area, and he's a great family friend of mine, and just a great leader overall. So I'm super excited to sit down with him and feel some of the insight that he's willing to share with us. Hope you guys enjoy the podcast, and we'll catch y'all at the end. Your office is sweet.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love it. Well, dude, thank you so much for taking time.
Oh yeah. You're welcome.
Awesome, man. Well, let's get started. I kind of wanted to just talk about, kind of your business and how it's grown over the last couple of years. And so if you kind of want to just talk about, the 5-5-12, what was it? 1-1-2 rule. I watched on another video of yours. Is that what it is?
Oh yeah. So the 5-5-1-1-2-2. Yep.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. How's that been going since it is January now of 2022?
Well, actually, it's January. You're actually the first one to ask, even in our group, the first one to ask how that's going, and it's pretty amazing how that really took place. So 5-5-1-1-2-2 stood for 5 stores, 5 years, January 1st of 2022, and that was a vision that that I was given, almost 5 years ago.
Yeah,
and it's pretty wild how that came into just how it happened. And but it did take place, and we're good. And now I need to working on this year a new vision, and those visions can't be my rule. It has to be God-given. So yeah, working on that, searching that right now, actually.
That's awesome, man. So we achieved it. It's a done deal.
Yeah, it's a done deal. It's all how people look at it. I didn't really know how that was going to take place.
Yeah.
At the time when that was done, I had 2 stores. I had Integrity Motors, and then I had we just bought Country Chevrolet, which was in November of 2016. So we just bought that.
Yeah.
And had no vision for where we were going. I was kind of out there, and I was driving from Amarillo to Borger, and my windshield wipers, I say windshield wipers, nothing really happened. It was broad daylight, but it felt like my wipers went and kind of came back down. And then across my windshield, it said 5-5-1-1-2-2. And I go, what does that mean? Yeah. But I just come out of a luncheon with our pastor, and he talked about vision. And so I'm thinking, and I always listen to a podcast or something on when I'm driving, but it's quiet that day. And I was just me and God. And by the time I got to Borger, that's how it 5 stores, 5 years, January 1st of 2022.
Yeah.
So we casted the vision, and then you got to go to work. And when you cast a vision, you know where you're going, but then you got to go back from the beginning and work to get there. So we actually have, as a group, we have 4 rooftops. Okay. We have a Buick GMC Chevrolet store in Borger. We have a Buick GMC Chevrolet store in Pampa, Toyota store in Pampa, and then we have 2 independent stores, Country with Integrity, and where my original store was located on 45th, and then we have Country Pre-Owned. On the Canyon Way, Country with Integrity on the Canyon Way, and then we have Country Pre-Owned, which is on 45th in Georgia on that corner lot there. And then, but the other thing that took place, and really I didn't know how it was going to happen. All that's in the group. But during this process in 2017, I completely shut Integrity Motors completely down. So that was the original. No business was going through it. It just really completely, I didn't dissolve the dealer license. I just didn't do any business with it because we merged that business with the country stores called Country with Integrity. And as we're getting closer to the vision, the goal, or the 5-5-1-1-2-2, and I really didn't know, but it was sitting there the whole time. Mm. And what we did, or I did, is I just revamped, probably early part spring of this year, Integrity Motors on it. It's not with the group, it's just by itself. But individually, all I deal with is just classic cars.
Yeah.
So I have a classic car business specifically under Integrity Motors, but it is a business. And so if you look at it, there's your 5, but it was always there. It just wasn't, I wasn't seeing it. I'm thinking franchise, I'm thinking of a bigger store, thinking of a different. So early part of that March, how it took place is pretty unique, pretty awesome. It does fall there with me, not necessarily with the whole group, but with me. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I'm sure there was changes. Which do you think was a bigger challenge for you to overcome in 2020 when car deals just went to a brief halt, or 2021 now that you can't find inventory to save your life?
Well, I look back, and if you ask me the question, which one's tougher, I think the car business in general, my whole life's been tough.
Yeah.
I was able to experience some things early on that prepared me for 2020, if you want to look at it that way, 2021. And the first thing that I experienced, I went on my own in September of 2000, and a year later, September of 2001, that was 9/11.
Yeah.
And so I went through that, which that was really, the whole world stood still for a while. And so you deal with that. And then in 2008, I dealt with another huge change. That's when the economy fell out of America in lots of ways, and we carried a lot of SUVs and diesel trucks, and the market flipped. And if you had it on your lot, you're losing $5 to 10 grand per vehicle. So you had to figure out ways to overcome and get out of that inventory and buy new. And you had to go buy small cars that got good gas mileage. So the whole thing just flipped, and so just kept moving and kept stepping forward. And you learn a lot going through those trials and those tribulations. So really, when 2020 hit, it's just a bump in the road. It's just another way to look at it. And I'll tell you, I would take 2020 10 times over, 2021 10 times over 9/11 or 2008, just because you learn to move and learn to make adjustments quicker, faster, and see things a little bit better. And it's a really good time to be in any business right now. You just got to find the good and all the tough things going on, because really business is good.
Yeah.
You just got to find it. You can't look at your old ways.
Yeah. What new ways have you implemented in your businesses?
As far as with the current changes?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, our business is a lot faster.
Yeah.
So inventory has to move a lot quicker. Selling inventory is really more on social media. So your expense on advertisements down, which is a positive. And most of your sales are coming in off the social side of things, or just another aspect versus normal walk-ups or somebody just walking up. So your business has changed, so you have to advertise different. You have to look at things different. So the biggest change is learning how to sell a car like you and I face-to-face on right here. I mean, we have a new program that's coming out. It's just launching, that we're the first store in the nation to get it, that you can actually do the whole car deal right here and sign docs on a Zoom call, basically. Not on Zoom, but it's another program like that, like DocuSign, but it'll be just like this, and I'll pop it up. You'll sign, it'll download it, email it to you, email it to me, and we just deliver the car. You don't even have to come to the store. Yeah, that launched January 1st, actually.
Wow. That expedites the 30-minute car deal.
That expedites the 30-minute car deal, and it's all good, and it's in plans until we're working on putting it in action right now. And those are the growing pains, putting those things in action.
Oh, I'm sure. What do you think that your business's X factor is that other auto industries don't? Because I feel like you guys have really you've grown, right? You've added 4 stores in 3 years, when a lot of car dealers, I feel like, are struggling right now as far as with leadership and all those other things.
Leadership's everything.
Yeah.
And if you're not growing, you're basically going a different direction. And you have to work on that daily, and you have to work in your gift zones where you're growing at, and you have to help the people work in their gift zones, and everybody's talent's different. And we've been through a lot in 5 years. I mean, the difference of people, the changes, people come for a while, and it's kind of like building a building, and you have that building, and you use scaffolding to build that building. And when that building's built, the scaffolding has to come down. And sometimes that's, well, a lot of times that's people. And, we all have a bus that we're riding, and the bus might be the right bus. And sometimes that bus needs to change and they need to get on a different bus.
All right. I like it. All right. So speaking of leadership and all those other things, what does being a 1%er mean?
1%ers. That's a really great thing. The lead of the lead of the lead. And being a 1%er, people can look at the negative side of that, because there's some motorcycle games that call themselves 1%ers.
Yeah.
But in life in general, I work hard to compete and be in the top 1% in whatever field that is. And let's just say working out every day, if you're riding a Peloton or you're competing with somebody else, I measure myself against other measurements so I can be in that top 1%. I don't always make it, but I measure myself and push myself to get to that level. So in our business, I measure myself the best I can in the automobile business to be in the top 1% of our industry. And my vision, my goal, besides the 551122 is, and it's been from day one since the 90s, is to change how the automobile business is ran. And there's a lot of great things in the automobile business. There's a lot of bad things in the automobile business. There's a lot of great things in business in the world. There's a lot of bad things in the world, but take the good and take it to another level and use integrity. And my easy philosophy is this: work really, really hard. People ask me all the time, how do you get to this level? I said, well, you got to work really, really hard, like really, really hard. But besides working hard, you're going to have integrity.
Yeah.
And that's doing the right thing when it's really easy to cheat on and do the wrong thing. And you put those two things together, and God blesses that. So I know a lot of people who have a lot of integrity. I mean, you can take it to the bank. They got the best integrity in the world, but they don't work very hard. Then I got a lot of people who have the work ethic like you can't believe. They're working 12, 15 hours a day. They are just killing it. But push come to shove, when something's on the line, sometimes they go the wrong direction and they got to start over. And it's just, but if you can balance the two, and no one's perfect, and learn from your mistakes, accept the responsibility you've been given, look someone in the eyes, just say, I messed up, move forward. Those things really change, and you build on that. I mean, you can really build, just like I was telling you, you can build on stuff from 9/11 and the 2008 situation. You can build on those mistakes and that learning curve that you took, and those are the stepping stones to success.
Which one do you think is harder to overcome? Being a hard worker with no integrity, or having integrity and not being able to know what hard work is?
I don't know that answer. I think it depends on the individual. It really, because I'm telling you, I know a lot of people who work really hard that, as far as having anything, not that having something makes you successful, but their lifestyle shows, it's a pretty rough side. And I know a lot of people who, man, they're just magnificent people and just do wonderful things, but they kind of like the couch.
Yeah.
So, and then there's a cross between the two. I mean, I don't know what's harder. I mean, I just know what I need to do for me. I got to work really hard in both those areas, and I got to stay in my sweet spots on those areas that I have control of.
Yeah. I got you. Well, I think you're lucky at the fact that both your sons work for you.
Yeah,
that's a really cool deal.
People get to tell me that all the time, and they go, how'd you work that out? And I go, I didn't. I mean, that's really a God thing, and that's something they both had their choices on doing. And the great thing, Tyler, is that they had the choice. I didn't make them do that.
Yeah.
But they both right now are in the business. They're both doing unbelievable things. They're both totally different. One's one extreme, one's the other extreme. You put them together, and I guess I'm somewhere in between both of them. But they're both out of college. They both have their own homes. Each one has their own successes, and it's pretty awesome to see them take the ball and run and really seek counsel and work hard. They mess up, I mess up, but really working hard to be great.
What was the coolest moment? Like, were you all trying to close one deal at a time? Do you have an aha moment where you're like, this is awesome, I'm working with my two sons and they're extremely successful?
Well, I think the aha moment is when you look back and you have somebody say, and I've had this quite a bit lately, they just say, hey, listen, I just want to tell you, And they've said it on both my kids. I had the opportunity to work with your son, and it was just the best experience I've ever had. And they're just really, really great at what they do. And I go, well, thank you.
Yeah.
I think that's the aha moment when you get that kind of compliment. And because, we all go through stuff. I mean, every family has stuff. Everybody goes through things. But to see them taking those right steps in the right direction. But really, when somebody else sees it, is what's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Well, cool, man. Well, so what is a plan like you're so successful in business? What does a personal plan look like for you? What are some personal goals for you going into 2022?
Well, so a personal goal you look at it how you want to. So here's some things I work on all the time. Work on myself mentally, physically, and spiritually. And I really work to do those things in different categories. But on the physical side, so what I've never done is I've never run in what they call a Spartan race. So I'm going to run in a Spartan race in the end part of February. It's going to be a 10K. 10K is easy. I can run 10 miles and just not even breathe hard. But there's going to be 25 obstacles in between. So that's going to be a challenge. And then you push yourself to hit the time and make a certain time. So that's a physical goal. So I'd say that would be one thing that I always have to have something to chase, something to go after. And I think that helps you become a 1%er in the field that you're going after.
Okay, awesome. Well, John, thank you so much for your time. We're right at 15 minutes. I want to respect your time. And I just want to say thank you so much, man, for doing this with me.
Hey, you're awesome, Tyler. Great to see your success too. And
Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing this. Really awesome.
Awesome.
Keep doing it.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much, John. We'll talk to you later. Okay, buddy?
All right. See ya.
See you. Bye. Great conversation with John. Dude just is a great leader and a great, businessman. And I value his time and thankful so much for the insight that he provided with us. A few housekeeping things before we let you go. We have started a merch store. There's a link for it down below in the middle of the video. You can get hats, shirts, hoodies, all kind of things if you want to support the channel. We also have some hats on hand. So if you are in the Amarillo area and you want to buy one, just shoot me an email and we can figure something out. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video. Bye.